Hello, trading is closed on January 7th, 2019. As always, let's go over our calls. Over the weekend, we said there were conflicting signals and that the commonest thing would be a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. Well, there was no gap. Next, we said if the gap were down, it would have much lower targets. Well, there wasn't a gap down. Next most common was that we would close with a change, and we didn't. And the least common by a large margin is that none of those things would happen. Well, that had to work because nothing else did. It isn't that it didn't work, it just isn't the most common thing. Now, we had a target. I didn't think it would have to print because if we gap down, any resistance would hold. But we didn't gap down, so the target printed. We also called for the pattern with the early low and the late high. That's what we got. We said that unless you drop early, tends to lead to higher prices, which is what we got. During the day, MEJT said ultimately lower prices would print, but the drop was false and prices would retrace. Said this rally is false and this drop is false. Gives us a bunch of targets, both higher and lower. Now, tomorrow's pattern is the one with the early low. Doesn't mean you won't gap up first. When this pattern doesn't close at its high, and if we don't gap and take this high out early tomorrow, it should lead to lower prices. When you have conflicting signals, higher and lower targets, same rules apply. Commonest thing is we gap and promptly move outside the range. Next most common is close with a change. Big move the day afterwards. And least common is neither of those things happen. So we have higher and lower targets, most likely to print by tomorrow or early Wednesday. And the standard rules for conflicting signals apply, but since they're higher and lower targets, the most likely thing over the next day or two is whipsaw action. And that's today's call.